Hello, friends. Welcome to the Cher Show. This episode is about the flower sampler. We're going to work on this. We're going to do a whole bunch of roses, like different roses. I have DMC Floss 760 and 761, and I think I'm going to use those two colors to do all of my roses. So I took this. This is a half-inch. This is just an artist thing, and I used the half-inch hole there to draw a little circle. You don't have to have that same shape. Just, I know someone will ask if I don't show. And then I put in 5 different dots around. I think a stick figure with arms and legs. So I'm going to do a fly stitch to make the first 3 legs. You don't have to, you can just do 3 separate stitches. Then I'm going to go over here to the left and do a stitch there, and then I'm going to go back in the middle and go to the right and do a stitch there, like that. And then I'm going to end this thread off after I poke a hole for my next needle. This is a woven wheel rose, or woven wheel stitch. So what I'm going to do, this is different. I've not seen this done before. I've not done this before. We're going to just try it, see how it works. Here I have 2 strands of embroidery floss, and I used 1 of each of my 2 colors, and I separated them into 6 separate strands, and then I put them all together to make one big fluffy strand. Now I have a tapestry needle, which is why I poked a hole in the back of the fabric to get the needle through, and I'm going to weave. Now, if you don't have a tapestry needle, don't fret. You can just use the back end of the eye of your needle like that to go to weave your little threads. But so I'm going over and under, over, under this one, and over that one, and under this one, over this one, and under this one, over that one, and under this one. I'm sure I don't need to keep saying that. Sometimes I just say stuff to fill the space. Maybe I should just tell you what I've got going on in my life. I'm moving. I'm very excited about moving. There are crying babies and playing children, and all the things that happen in a nice, happy neighborhood. I want quiet. So, there's the neighbors again. So, and it's not that I don't like my neighbors. I do like my neighbors, but I just don't like the noise. So I'm on a waiting list for a senior place. And in the meantime, I am moving in with somebody else. Her name is Mildred. Um, and I'll be able to save a bit of money living with Mildred. All right. So there's our. I thought I was going to do a colonial knot in the center there, but looks like I don't have room. Looks like I don't have to do that. All right, now try to poke this through the back. And there we go. Whoop. Because it's a blunt tip, that's not easy to do. Well, there we go. There's our nice little... Now, I'm going to switch this to a different needle. I have a chenille needle here, and I think it's a 22. I don't know. Shouldn't say if I don't know, huh? And let's just get the handy dandy little needle threader. That looks like Mitzi. Mitzi's my cat. If you're new here, I have a little tuxedo cat named Mitzi. She is currently asleep on the couch. She came to sleep with me, or not to sleep with me. She cried for me to pet her, so I pet her for a little bit. It takes about 5 minutes or so, and then she's done and she's overstimulated, and she then, just goes to sleep under the blankets. All right, I'm going to do over here, because every flower has to have a bud next to it. I'm going to do a colonial knot. You make a backward C, go through that way, and then hold it with your finger and go back around this way. There's like an X over the needle, and then I'm going to go back into the fabric near where I came out, and then see I'm holding it with my fingers from the back, and then I'm going to tighten that down, not terribly tight, just tight enough, and then I'm going to pull through while holding the thread there. And there we go. It's a cute little... Now, if you wanted to use different threads where there was more contrast, it would certainly show up a little differently. I'm going to end this off and pause for a moment. Okay, next we're going to do a bullion knot rose. I have the same 1/2 inch, you know what? This is, it's not quite a 1/2 inch. See this one? It's not quite a 1/2 inch. It fits inside that 1/2 inch circle. So I drew 2 lines here. You don't have to draw the circles. I just did that so you can see. And these lines are about about 1/8 of an inch. And I'm doing this for my friend Shirley. Shirley asks lots and lots of questions, which I do appreciate. She sometimes posts pictures of stuff she did on the Facebook group. All right, so I stuck the needle in there, and now I'm going to hold the needle from the back. I'm going to wrap the thread. I have 3 strands of the darker color, and I have, this is important, this is a milliner's needle. That's important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think 8. And then I'm gonna, you just want to make sure that there's enough wraps there to cover that distance. And then I'm going to hold on to all that thread and pull through till I get to about here, and then I'm going to pull down and just continue to pull. Do you see? Do you see? Do you see? And then I'm going to go to the back, and I'm going to come back up right next to that one. Okay, now that's important that you do that stitch and don't just go straight into this one, because that stitch down is the last part of the first stitch. Now this is the first part of the second stitch. I've made that mistake before, just so you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll push them all up. Make sure they look good. Put the thumb over top, pull through, and then pull down. Now, I know it looks easy. Looks really easy, doesn't it? Now I'm going to go to the back to finish that stitch. Then I'm going to go over here to the side of this one. And then I'm going to do one more this direction. And when I edit, I'm going to cut out all the parts where I'm counting, because my video will get too long. 1, 8, and then pull through, down, and that's going to go, see how that's going to rest right on top of those, and then down to the back. Then my next one, now we're going to start going around in a circle. So my next one is going to come up here, and then go this way. 1, 8, and then down to the back. And then now I'm going to switch colors. Now I have my lighter color and same needle. I think this is a number 3. It's a 3 or a 5 milliner's needle. One, 8, And now I think I'm going to switch to like 10 wraps. 10. Then I'm going to come up right beside that one. And then go over here. This one might be 12 wraps. 12. Oh, heck. Okay, I don't know if you saw what I did, but that little tail, I need to be sure and move that tail there. And it's best if you do that before you get in the middle of a stitch. Now, this one, this rose, when I'm done, will probably just about fill this half-inch space. 12. And let's move the, oop. And we're going to go at the side of this one. And pulling that back to get underneath it, sort of. Then I'm going to go all the way over here. You know, I don't have to go all the way to the back. I can just go under. Yeah, no, I have to go all the way to the back. Doesn't really. But I think this one's going to be about 14 wraps. 14. Let's do 16. Oh, yeah. Nice. And maybe just one more. And 16 wraps again. There we go. Well, you could stop there, and that is just lovely. But I want to do just a tiny bit more. I have the same, this is the lighter color, and this time I have a number 1 milliner's needle, just a tiny bit bigger, and I'm going to do a cast on stitch. Goes like this. Twist around. 14. Okay, this part is not necessary, but I like to pull the tail end down and then pet it a little bit. That gets rid of that twist. And then pull it back out. And then make sure I'm on screen. I'm pulling through. Now I want this to face to the outside. I'm going to go through that loop. And then now it's facing outward like that. And then pull it in. There we go. Let's do another one of those. Okay, now I could go all the way around with those petals, and I might do that off camera, but you get the idea. Okay, now I'm back to the darker color again and the smaller needle, and I just did a little 5-wrap bullion knot. See? And our little rosebud. All right, the next one comes from this book, Foolproof Flower Embroidery by, where's the name? Jennifer Clouston. On page 85 of this book is this little drawing. Start at the top and work downward using the desired stitch. So there's no other demonstration. There's no, I don't know. I've never seen her do it on her channel, but you can find it in her book. So there's 2 that go like this, and then 1 across those. I'm going to put those 2 in, and then we'll look at it again. I'm going to do bullion knots, and I'm not going to do these all on camera because, time, and you don't need to see really the whole thing. But I am starting at the top of, this is also a 1/2 inch circle, and I'm starting at the top. Not that I need to keep it inside that circle, but because, somebody will want to know the dimensions. Okay, I did 2 upright and then 1 underneath that. And now this one is supposed to be kind of over top of those 2. And then this next one goes underneath like a smile. So those first 3 are 6 wrap. And this one I'm going to do 8 wraps, I think. Let's do 10. I have, by the way, the darker color, 3 strands, and I think I have a number 3 millimeters needle, and I'm going to just look at this again. Um, you should definitely watch Miss Jennifer. She has a YouTube channel, and she does. The next two are going to go side by side. I mean, not side by side, but around the sides. It's going to go. It's going to start up here. It's going to end down here in the center. And this one I'm going to do probably 10 or 12, maybe 14 wraps. Yeah, 12 looks good. So I did email her and ask her if I could have her permission to use her books and do demonstrations, and she said yes, which I thought was really wonderful because she has a YouTube channel. If you don't watch Jennifer, you should watch Jennifer. She's fabulous. She doesn't really do tutorials, although I have learned a lot from watching her. 12? Is that what I want? 12? All right. Looking a little boxy, isn't it? Okay, next. Now, in her book, she has a couple of these. They're really tiny, and you can't really see very well what, it's just hard to see. And I've never seen her demonstrate one. But the next stitch is going to go from this side over here. And if you have her book and you look at the diagram, you can see very clearly where she goes. And you don't need to do this stitch. She just says the desired stitch. So 15, 16. And it looks to me, in her book, it looks to me like she's done one with bullion knots and one with, oh, look at that. And one with cast on stitches. But I'm going to do mostly bullion knots, and then I think I'm going to switch to a different color and a different stitch at this point. Okay, so we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to do 8, 9, and 10. And these I'm going to do with the lighter color and a cast on stitch. So I'm starting way over at this side, and I have a millionaire's needle. I think this is a number 3, maybe a 5. And I think I'm going to do 14 wraps. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's 12 wraps. So I'm going to pull through and go through this loop to the back. And I want to put that petal facing out that way. I probably should have started up a little further up there. So let's do that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to end this thread off. And start again, because sometimes I like the option of removing a stitch without taking the whole thing apart. That makes sense. So I'm going to go up here, and burp, burp, burp. This time I'm going to do it backwards. I'm going to do it left-handed. So if you're left-handed, Sarah Lee, pay attention. That's 13, because to be honest, I can't remember if I did 12 or 14 on the last one. But doesn't matter. We have 13 now. And I'm doing this left-handed. I learned one time to write with my left hand. I got carpal tunnel, and my boss sent me to a doctor who told me to stay home. He put a thing on it, told me to stay home for like 6 weeks or something or other. My boss called me up and said, "Get back in here." He said, "You don't have to write. We can let you not write, but we can't have you staying home." I just taught myself to do left-handed. I don't know why that one's smaller than the first one. But, so you get the idea. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to take this out. I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to take this out and do it again. And I'm going to start up here. And then there's one more that goes along the bottom. And I'm going to come back and show you that. And let's see if we have time to do leaves. That's really funny. I'm going to have to pay attention while I'm editing and see why, because it was the same needle. And I don't know if I just pulled tighter, but now I got those two to match a little bit. This one looks a little bit wonky because, that was left-handed. And I'm going from way over here. I'm going to go way over here. Those all had 13. Those both had 13 wraps. And this one I think I'm going to do 15. And this is the same size needle. And I'm making sure that I'm pulling really tight. Okay, that's 18. And I just did 18 because I looked and it didn't look like there were quite enough. And I'm almost go. I want to make sure that points outward. I'm going to kind of hold it in place while I pull. There we go. Now, I think I'm going to put the calyx underneath there so that that like stands up nicely. You know what I mean? All right, and the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to iron out those blue marks. Look at how pretty. And I have to see how much time I have left to show you calyxes and leaves and stems and stuff. Be back in a second. I decided for this flower, we're going to do I have 3, 3, 4, 7 and 3, 3, 6, 4. And I separated them out and put them back together. So I have 12 strands. And this is a number 20 chenille needle. And we're going to do a fly stitch. Again, this is not something I've done before. And I noticed this just lifts right up there. So I'm going to just go beyond it and back there. Let's see how this, let's just see how this looks. There we go. Let's come down here. And then I sort of want another, let's see. I want to come right up into the center of this knot, just because. Oh, not easy, but hey. And then one stitch, just one little stitch there. And there's our little calyx. That doesn't look too bad. Then this flower is just going to have a little something like that. And then, hold on, I'm moving the elbow. That's the elbow. See that little thing? That's the elbow. And then, let's come up over here. And around and down. Just go here. And then I think I want I'm just making this all up as I go. Let's just go right across those. Now, I had a painting instructor one time who said, Donna Dewberry, she said she knows leaves for roses don't look like that, but it doesn't matter. It just didn't matter to her because the leaves that she did were really pretty, and they matched the flowers. So we're just going to do some little, I don't know, some kind of foliage. Let's turn it this way and see what we think. So I think I'm going to do a back stitch here. And then I think I'm just going to do like one long stitch here. Let's just see what the detached chain stitch looks like with all these threads. Because roses have these sort of 5-petal, not 5-petal, they're like 5 little leaves together on a stem. So that's what I'm going to do here. I think if I was going to do a a garden, what do you call it? I was going to do an entire garden in embroidery. I don't think I would use this flower. Just saying. But I thought it should be included in our sampler because this is one of the easiest roses you can do. And I wanted to try this 12-strand embroidery. So there's that one. All right, now I have 3 strands, 3, 3, 4, 7, and an embroidery needle. I think this is either a 5 or a 7. And we could do a bullion knot for this calyx. But I don't think so. I think I'm just going to do a little fly stitch. I'm going to come right up at the bud, the bottom of that bud, and make a Y like that. And go down here. And then I do like the center stitch thingy dealy, like that, right between those two. Whoops. I'm getting caught on needles over there. Oh, I like that. What do you think? Then, now here, just think I want Excuse me. I think I want something that's going to kind of hold that up. So let's do a... Now if I do a bullion knot with this needle, I have to be careful and make it really loose. There's 8 wraps, and it's nice and loose. I don't know how... I don't know how good this is going to turn out. And it certainly won't turn out good if I can't... There we go. Be careful you don't turn those tangles into knots. There we go. That kind of holds that up, huh? Let's put another one on this side. Another little bullion knot. Loosely. Seven, 8. Sure. Get out of there. There we go. Can't see them very well, but that was the intention. Just kind of hold those petals up. Now let's do... I want to show you 2 or 3 different stitches that you can use to make the stalks, the foliage. This is a fly stitch. I mean a feather stitch. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to go out there. I'm connecting to that. I'm going to wrap around like that and pull through. I'm pulling this direction. Then I'm going to come directly across from there and go down this way and wrap around and pull that direction. Now I'm going to go the other way. Coming across from where I came out, down there. Go down just a little ways. Wrap around. And I'm going to pull that direction again. Let's just do just one more. Just one more. Why not? Pull this direction. And then down to the back to end that off. Now I'm going to come back up and I'm going to add in some stuff. You won't really be able to tell that that's a feather stitch when I get done. Just adding in a few little straight stitches here. Here we go. See how that works? Now think because I'm running out of time, I'm going to do some detached chain stitches in groups of 5 off camera. Come back and show you. This last one here, I just want it to have a long stem. So let's do a stem stitch. Nice long one. Stem stitch goes like this. I go forward about 2 or 3 stitch lengths and then back 1. And I think I'm going to wrap this. I think that looks long enough, almost. Oh, it's getting warm. All right. And I'm going to go to the back, and I'm going to come back up at the side here. And then I'm going to wrap this all the way up. Well, I had the idea that I would do something different, but I just like that. Just little detached chain stitches, 5 of them, and then 3 over here. So that's my video for today. Thanks for hanging out with me and Mitzi today. I'll see you in the next one.